My mom tried to murder my stepdad and he survived, but I know too much, so I'm afraid I'm next. 2020 was a lot of things, but 2020 was the beginning of my worst days. It was an average day in May, or so I thought. I used to keep a small wooden Little League bat next to my door as a reminder of my pawpaw's love. My mom grabbed it and I had asked her to not, and she dismissed me. My mom had already been a bit wacky at this point. She even threw tantrums when she didn't get her way. She had my therapist keep me on antidepressants despite the side effects I was given. So this day I called my stepdad, who was at the time no longer with my mom. And I began to vent about how much worse it was getting at home. My stepdad was a huge support for me even though he was no longer with my mom. We made plans and he went to his girlfriend's and we agreed to call later. It was 5 p.m. so I went to call my stepdad back, but voicemail. So I made dinner for my brother assuming that dad was busy. But then 8 p.m. came around and mom wasn't home. I began to worry. 9 p.m. voicemail. 10 p.m. voicemail. 11, 12. 1, 2. 3. I had fallen asleep and then 3 hours later I was shook harshly to wake up. My mom had a small bruise on her neck and her face was swelling just a little. She started now to show crocodile tears and said that my stepdad tried to murder her and we were in danger. I felt my heart break as if my whole world had fallen apart. She began to show off his mugshot as some kind of trophy, saying, "I got him good." I couldn't stand to look at her of the mugshot of the man I also called dad. But I became suspicious, and after my mom kicked me out at 17 I tried to make contact. I did, but after he picked up and said hello I said, "Dad, I don't feel safe, I want the whole truth of what happened that night." He said, "I'm sorry, I can't, you shouldn't have called." I broke down, and then the next few days later my mom had called to harass me, as I had broke a restraining order she had. Fast forward, I was forced to move back in and she put me through abuse, hardship, poor living conditions, and constant work. So I could fail a mental evaluation, but I stayed strong. I got hit B and she abandoned me a month later. She took everything, even my ESA for the CPTSD I was dealing with. And I have been told my mom talks about me the same way as my stepdad. When I turned 18 I instantly reached out to my stepdad, and to my horror he confirmed the conclusion I had made. He told me how my mom got his GF at the time drunk and convinced her that my stepdad SA'd her and convinced her to beat my stepdad to death and claim self-defense. And he said he had seen God knows how many baseball bats, but before he almost blacked out, but he randomly got arrested for domestic assault, which saved him. The stuff my mom had was him stopping her from hitting him. I saw his hospital report. Cracks in the skull, a broken rib, stitches everywhere, a significant blood loss, and bruises everywhere. I'm pretty sure my mom knows that I know everything and had attempted to scare me into running back to her, even offering my ESA back if I did. But I know she can't be trusted because I know she wants to silence me. I've been the only one who spoke out ever.